Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Braboy with Anchored Hope Counseling. Welcome to our YouTube program, Hope Talks. We have some great content provided by our amazing counselors, and we hope that you find it helpful. Hello and welcome. I'm Deborah Braboy. I'm here today with Linda Howard, one of the licensed professional counselors here, along with myself at Anchored Hope Counseling. We're going to talk a little about grief counseling and work that we do with clients when they just kind of feel stuck and they feel like they aren't getting over grief. They have this understanding or perception. Part of it's what society kind of impresses on them, and part of it's self-imposed. Like they feel like they need to be getting over it. And that's a phrase that we hear a lot, which I don't like. I don't like that phrase.
No, it's harsh.
I kind of like to say it's something we have to get through.
Yes, through.
But we never do get over it.
Not going to get over it. It's going to be different.
And it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, it's different.
Even if they're grieving the same loss. If it's a divorce, the experience will be different for the husband, for the wife, for each of the children, or if it's a death, it could be the death of a father, which would be a husband, a son, brother-in-law. So everybody's experience will be different, and we all grieve differently anyway. So what are some things that you've experienced when you're working with folks, whether it be friends or clients who are grieving?
They'll sort of have a timeline, you know, of I should be, if onlys, and maybe, like you said, how it's going to be different for everyone, and maybe get kind of tangled up in some of those situations. They are struggling with the change. Adapting to the change.
And there's so many changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they don't see coming.
You said adapting to the change, like there's just one
There's
change.
a lot, right.
Yeah. So sometimes that means in counseling, I help them kind of unpack all the other losses that came with that loss, whatever it may be. If it's a job loss, it may be a change in, they may have to move for another job, or it could be a change in financial status or stability for the family, or if it's a divorce, there's sometimes custody and where they will live, or if it's a death of somebody, whether it be a child or a parent or a spouse, all of the changes that come with that. So helping them to kind of see they're not just grieving this one loss, but that helps sometimes. But you said another thing too. They think they should. That I hear that word "should" a lot. They have this expectation, whether it be self-imposed or kind of societal. We live in this death-denying culture. we really promote beauty and youth. Get plastic surgery or
success.
It's just so grief and death is ugly. So we don't want to go there. It's so lonely and isolating. So they have this idea that they should get over it, but they don't really know what that looks like. But I think it's a myth, because I don't think we ever get over it. We just learn to live with it. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, that's a good word, the myth, that it is a loss of our dreams. We just kind of want to feel like we know how things are going to go and that we're set. And then when our whole system is changed, that we can't find ourselves.
What you mentioned, dreams, loss of dreams, that's huge.
Yeah.
So if it's a death or a divorce, you get married, you think, till death do us part. And if death isn't what parts you, you had this dream. You had this, even though love may have kind of tapered and been lost throughout the time, still when that happens, the finality of that, that reality, that dream is gone, that needs to be grieved as well as the loss of the relationship.
Yeah.
If a child dies, we have dreams that they're going to go off to school, and they'll graduate high school and go to college, get married, and so all of those dreams we have attached, just to that one individual. When they're gone, it's just shattering. It shatters your whole view of everything. And so we kind of simplify it, like they have to grieve that loss, but there's not just one loss. But I think when you mention dream, it's huge. It's huger than huge.
Huger than huge. Because we'll have dreams for all these different developmental stages that we go through. And we don't see these developmental stages coming until we're
in them.
Yeah. And there's, where therapy and to keep that ongoing can really help.
So a lot of what we do with clients when they come in is just kind of validating where they're at, and then hopefully helping them to kind of open up that grief a little bit more, which is really scary.
It is scary for them, and they might, try for a little bit and then back off for a little bit and go back to the not getting over it, and beating themselves up and about not getting over it.
Well, they kind of run from it.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's scary hard. Because it's hard, it's dark, they're tired of crying, they don't want to cry anymore, so
exhausted.
It's got to be okay. People have been dealing with this. This is one thing I hear a lot. People will say, I know a lot of other people have it worse. Like maybe their child had cancer.
Right.
Maybe they had to deal with this. And so they discount their experience.
And we always compare ourselves.
Right. And that does not help their grief.
Not at all.
So I often see people taking 2 steps forward in their grief journey and then 1 step back, which makes them again feel stuck. And I have to tell them it's okay. It's okay to be wherever you're at. And sometimes people terminate counseling prematurely when we're dealing with grief because they do that I should be over it by now, or I should be able to live with this. I shouldn't be crying every day. All those shoulds. They should all over themselves.
Yeah, and that anger, they don't realize how that anger is going to skip around. They're mad at this one, they're mad at that one, they're mad at God, they're mad at themselves. Our brains can race around, our emotions can all race around, and it's a normal part of it. It's rough.
It's a normal part of grief.
Yeah.
And I think that's another part of what our job is when we're doing with grief counseling is helping normalize. That is normal grief.
Validate.
Sometimes grief is kind of crazy. It short circuits our brain. We can't think clearly. We do kind of get angry because it doesn't make sense, and it's not fair.
Not fair. Yeah.
But
that one's just a real hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
There's nothing we can do or say that's going to make it any better.
That's going to make it.
So I think sometimes that's another reason people will terminate grief counseling early is like, well, you can't take my grief away, and we can't take their grief away, and we can't bring back that which would make them happy, which is the restoration of that relationship or the loved one that passed away, bring them back. And so they wonder, what's the use? I don't know if this is really helping me, but I think it's really important that they have this one safe place that they can come to and talk about the loved one or talk about their feelings. Sometimes they feel like they failed, the loved one that died, or they failed as a wife or a husband when the marriage has ended. And I think it's important just for future relationships and for their future mental health that they really fully kind of process all of that.
Process, right. Realize how they may be projecting. They don't mean to be,
but it's natural.
It does. It happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people
That's
that kind
acceptance, I guess.
Feels, acceptance again. Yeah, when they're stuck in that grief, I think acceptance is a big element that we can help them kind of work towards. Well, we appreciate you joining us. It's really important for us to kind of share just some psychoeducation and a little bit of information about what normal grief looks like. So we hope this was helpful for you, and we hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for watching Hope Talks. We hope this information was beneficial for you. Please be sure to check out our other videos, and if you would please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, we would really appreciate it. Thanks so much and have a blessed day.